everyone. Happy this day. For me, it's Tuesday, and today is a great day. Today has been a great day for a lot of reasons. First of all, I decided I was going to make something, and I made cookies. So I think it's important for myself to make lists for productivity because I am a procrastinator. So there are a lot of P words I could pronounce as me as a person. And that is one of those. I actually don't mind labeling myself as a procrastinator as long as it's serving me. And I've described that in the past in so many ways where everything is on a spectrum, right? Highs and lows and in the middle. So happiness is on its own spectrum. Unhappiness is on its other spectrum. So just to be clear on that, they're not in polarities, not always at least. But in procrastination, the high end of it can be inefficient and underserving, and the low end of it, which actually stretches towards the median range, the middle range, can be highly productive because creativity exists in that realm of spontaneity, right? So in our procrastination, if we tend to leave things to the point of no return, right? We can't get back the time that we could have been using in order to develop some type of thing or way or being. In the moment, there's something really special. And I say this because I was just reading the forecast for the new full moon, which is today, December 29th, 2020. And so don't forget to put your crystals out in the moonlight. You might even be able to start it now because the moon comes up when it's daytime still. Even if you have a bracelet that needs some charging, some good gem beads. This full moon is called the cold moon. And the cold moon is a moon that is potent because for us it makes sense if you're here with me in the cold, and I know some of you are in Hawaii, so don't talk to me about that yet. But this cold new moon, full moon, sorry, I get my moons jogged, is here for us to really kind of give us that potent, surprising nature of our creativity, right? The part of our creativity that comes out of maybe procrastination, so at the last minute when you were not expecting to be asked a question, but you were absolutely in the perfect position, well rested, right? Feeling vibrant and positive, or dressed the way you want to be, where you're like, this is me. And that way you expressed yourself with all the verbs and adjectives that you need to say what you intend to do, right? So right now, this whole day, you can formulate your list, what your intentions may be for 2021, and they don't have to result on the wrong spectrum, right? So allow the spectrum to be your high and low in your enthusiastic, happy side, right? And you can even choose things for your unhappy spectrum, but that's a different thing to ask for, right? So you can also be creative with that. In yoga, it's called Svasrishti, actually, which is one's own creativity, right? Your creation in that creativity, actually, Sriti, Srishti is creation, and the one's own makes creation the creativity, right? So it's a continuous creation, doesn't have to be a stable and static one thing. So it's movable and it's flexible as we are, as you are, and I'm gonna try to tap into one of those shapes that I feel particularly jazzed by and see if we can find it in more than one way in our practice. So here we go. Close your eyes for just a moment. Wherever you are, however you may be on whatever spectrum that you feel, nurture that. 2020 has been a year to nurture. Nurture in a nutritious way. So how, in so many ways, that we've been able to inject or instill and influence that part of us that is one's own, sva, right? The one part of you, the many parts of you that come in combination or in singular, that infuse, enliven, enrich any moment, whether it be a thought, a glance, a quiet moment, or a frenetic party. Let your hands come together at your heart. We'll take 3 breaths together. Inhale. Nice, complete exhale. Again. And one more. Open your eyes gently. Rub your hands together, palm to palm. We're going to sweep twice over the head and away. One more time. Over the head and away. And we're ready, right? So you're your own sva. So that you don't have to be influenced by what I am putting out there and projecting. So here is your invitation, right? To do you this way here. All right. Alexa, play. There we are. We're playing. Whenever I start, Alexa, volume down. Whenever I start recording, I'm like, oh right, I'm already ready to do intro. Did I push record? Here I am at my mat. You be on your mat, choosing whichever direction is best for you if you need to glance at the video. All right, so I'm just gonna take a couple moments to pedal through my bottoms of my feet. So that's gonna look like taking your time, lifting and lowering your heels one at a time. Right, so you're stretching from the heel to the toes and rolling back from toes to heels. And we're in so many different ways, so depending on you and the condition of your feet, in need of this, and you can give a little pressure to lift, to kind of bounce up through a switch, right? So waking up those arches, opening up the space between the toes. Yay. And we'll settle down. Okay, now I'm gonna go for one foot, just the top of my foot. I'm not pushing too hard. I'm just letting the toenails rest there. Hopefully you didn't just paint them, and so they're not gonna get scuffed up by your mat. I imagine you wouldn't be practicing yoga if that were the fact. Actually, I take that back. I taught plenty of privates to individuals that literally painted and went to the mat, and it didn't turn out so glorious in the end. Okay, so front and back of the foot, top and bottom, however you want to look at it, it's really important. So little ankle shake, little ankle shake. So we're going bottom up right now here. So I'm just going to take my left foot out in front of me slightly, and I'm just doing a little slight forward bow. Right, this is not even a full 90 degrees in my hip angle, but this is for my calves, right? So just kind of taking a little moment, playing a little original music from Sia today, and really listening to her a lot lately because I feel like I want to dance across the floor or scream into the sky or roll out on a mat and turn into kind of a little jelly roll. She's a good influence for that, right? So you've got the back of your calves, you've got the top of your feet. Now we're going to go a little bit more into the fronts of the shins, and that's not an easy place to target. When you bend your knees or bend at the hips and bring your hands to touch the floor, you're going to bring right knee to the floor. And when you take your left leg back, you're actually going to place your left shin on your calf. You're just going to gently kind of lean back into that. Okay, it's kind of weird. It's more of a soft kind of opening and release. So you're pushing that sort of anterior, which is the front of the tibia, your shin, into your calf muscle, or anywhere lower down towards the ankles, right? Back of that Achilles, front of that ankle of the left foot, and then we'll just switch it, right? So right shin on left, and then that little lean back of your hips back is giving you that opportunity to gauge your weight, right? How much do you need, right? It's just about how much you need, so not what maybe someone else might ask for. It's what's appropriate for you. Okay, and then also you want to make sure you're comfortable on your knees. All right, hands to the floor. Let's take a plank pose. let your shoulder blades be on your back, right? So that's kind of a scapular retraction, but it's not so retracted, right? So I throw the word kinda, which is a little passive because we're a little bit on a spectrum, a lot bit maybe, of how much we can really squeeze where it's not kind of overly dropping your belly or your hips. Okay, so you notice that after a couple breaths here in plank pose, there are a lot of muscles fired up. Okay, when you go back to down dog, this is going to give you a nice opportunity to take this work that we started with from toes, tops and bottoms of the feet, ankles, shins, and calves, and pedal that up through the knees. So that's why we work through that little sort of walk in place in down dog. This is going to certainly translate up to the hamstrings. Okay. As you come up to a plank pose, bring your left leg up to a three-legged plank. Pull your knee in and place the knee between your wrists. Bring the right knee to meet it. Come up to fingertips. Okay, right here we're gonna press into the floor with the tops of the feet and the fingertips and hop up to your feet, right? So we're gonna come up first to a chair pose, then to a stand, reach, and then a forward bow. So all the way up into the hamstrings and glutes. Take as much time as you need to move from one shape to the next with however long you want that inhale and that exhale to be. And the exhale is complementing the inhale, so they both have their own spectrum and length. And take your precious time in just enjoying that, right? So a lot of creation comes out from those two directions of breath. Inhale to a flat back. And on your exhale, when your fingertips touch the floor, you're gonna go right knee down, left knee down, hands down. We go left leg back, right? So you're gonna pull your right knee up towards your face, and then take it back to three-legged plank, to a regular plank, okay? Inhale, lift the hips back to a down dog, and again, pedal through the legs. So I want our hips and our legs to be very ready for where I hope to arrive in just this little half-hour time. So even though it seems like it's moving a little slowly, this is actually going to help you. You'll get there quicker if you let yourself warm up. Lift the right leg into a three-legged dog with an open hip. I'm doing with a bent knee. You don't have to, but you could. Okay, step right foot to the outside of that right hand. Okay, chest forward, eyes forward, left knee down. Awesome. And then right here, you're gonna straighten the front leg. Right, so your hips slide back, your right leg straightens, and your heart folds. You can really push down into your hands, so you don't have to push down into your hamstrings. Right, so one side may be a little bit more forgiving than the other when it comes to hamstring stretching. Okay? And you always notice in that distance of 3 breaths, you really can feel something shift, something unique, creative transformation, right? Right knee bends, left knee lifts, step left foot to the outside of that left hand, right foot back of the mat. And this time we'll go right knee to the floor. Okay, and then left leg straightens. Okay, I'm coming to the heel of that front foot, right? If I didn't say it on the last time, you might have saw it. Maybe you hear it now, and you'll notice if you flex the foot this way, dorsiflex, right? Way different from plantar flexing, which would be pointing the foot, right? So you kind of change the relationship from the calf to the hamstrings by flexing or pointing the foot. Okay, and that knee bends, the right knee lifts, and I'm gonna go back to three-legged dog, open hip. Okay? We'll meet in plank pose. We'll have a vinyasa here. So we're gonna take a nice, smooth, just a calm release to the floor. So trying to keep a nice, firm plank through Chaturanga to the mat. Feel the shoulders still lifting. And then right here, we're gonna point the feet and lift them. Lift the legs, really. Okay, so we've got our curve from shoulders, hips to heels. We're gonna keep that curve and just add the arms so when the feet land, then your chest is as high as it should be right now in the same curved shape. Okay, keep the knees on the floor. Take this to all fours. So because we're also moving into a nice bright challenge of the new year, let's go there with strong midsections. So we're gonna do a little bit of a core action here. So tuck the toes and lift your knees. Right, knees are up, hovering just over the floor. So I call this hovering fours. Okay, you're gonna straighten the left leg and tuck your right knee. Go back again, open hip, three-legged dog. And this one's gonna step right foot forward between your hands. Take pyramid legs here. Front leg straight, back heel down. I'm pressing, I'm feeling my heel touch the floor, but it's lifting, not coming off the floor, but there's that sensation that I'm not shoving all my weight into my heel. I'm more spreading it across my foot and out through my toes. Okay, let's go regular triangle pose, left arm up. It's pretty nice. As the left hand comes down, pivot on that right heel, and we're gonna parallel the feet. So you go into a wide straddle, forward bound. Right, that's pretty awesome. I did deadlifts yesterday, as I tend to often brag about, but when you get really sort of in a place of deadlifts where you feel proud about them, you just want to talk about them, and it's not like you want to brag, even though it comes out that way. Of course, anytime we talk about ourselves, right, it sounds like a brag. But I think we shy away from it so much that we're afraid that somebody might think sort of otherwise of us, but we think too often about what other people might think. So maybe not go there right away. Let's turn over to the left heel, and we go first the pyramid pose. So we have that moment. Right? It's always that second time, or that sort of other side after we go from the first, where we start to notice that we are progressing from somewhere, because we notice where we just were on that right side. Let's go regular triangle pose. Right arm up. And when that right hand comes down, bend that left knee, slide that back to an open hip, three-legged dog. Yay. Now this one's gonna be a little sneaky. We're gonna actually slide this into a hovering fours. So when we come forward with the shoulders, you take the toes to the floor on that left foot, the knees don't land. So you have this nice little core challenge, this moment to also make sure your hands are wide enough, actually. I've been finding that my hands, my wrists, my shoulders, my elbows, all those things in my crack, enjoy a little bit more space. So staying so rigid to a narrow space may kind of get in your way. Right? Always good to experiment. We're gonna go to Chaturanga here, and then let that land to the floor. So you notice how they all kind of link together. You can sort of seamlessly slide through one shape to the other with a nice long breath. So legs lifted, heels up towards the sky, toes pointing back behind you, shoulders lift, then press into the hand. So I've called it in the past the rocking horse of our up dog. Okay, slide back to all fours, tuck the toes, hovering fours. Okay, we're gonna go back the way we came. We're gonna go left knee tuck, right leg straight. Go back, open hip, three-legged dog. So I know you're gonna see the back of me a lot more on this one, but that's okay. Step the left foot forward, between your hands, and turn that back heel over to the left. Here's another one of those pyramid poses, and feeling pretty great about it because those hamstrings are feeling very familiar now to you breathing into their length. Right hand up, triangle pose. And now as you bend your left knee, reach your left arm straight forward in front of you. So over that left leg. So you have this kind of version of a side angle pose. And then we're gonna come up to warrior two. You'll straighten the left leg, look up to the sky. Awesome. We're gonna add a little shoulder stretch into this so we can get more up into the upper body. So as you start to bow forward, take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, find your hands, soft bend in the elbows, and then bow. All right, and so this doesn't need to be static. Try not to let the shoulders drop into your ears, so keep your neck long and your head heavy. Feeling yourself lean out into the toes, wide through the heels, all the good stuff that happens there. All right, wiggle open the sides of the chest, sides of the ribs. Awesome. Then you start to lift up to a flat back. Release the arms, let the fingertips touch, right? Walk over to your right foot. Take pyramid pose here. Okay, your next inhale, go triangle pose. And then on your exhale, right knee bends, right arm straight forward. Okay, inhale up to warrior two, looks good. Straighten both legs, parallel the feet, arms reach up to the sky. And then one more shoulder stretch here. Elbows bend, forward bound. Okay, so there's your second set of shoulder stretches. Here we go. You inhale up to a flat back, let go of the arms. This is gonna be a little bit different. So I'm gonna turn myself around, but you can keep your rights and your lefts doing rights and lefts. So we have a flat back in wide straddle here. This is kind of fun. I like to do this on fingertips just because I think it gives me space. For me, I'm gonna just kind of say it's because my legs are long, maybe my torso is short. But you can always do this with flat hands if that's easier for your fingers and wrists. So neither one of them are wrong. It's just about preference. Okay, I'm going first to shift my weight into my left foot and my left hand. Keep my right hand on the floor and go for an open hip version of a three-legged dog. I'll probably plant my right hand to the floor for this one. I'm gonna tuck my left leg under and towards the front of my mat. Both hands are still where they were. Does that make sense? So I bend the knee, it tucks towards my abdominal muscles. You go into that wide straddle, open hip, three-legged dog, and return your right foot to where you had it. It's kind of a cool, graceful, little acrobatic moment here. I'm gonna try this with both hands on the floor this time. Okay, so shifting weight to right foot, right hand, left hand stays on the floor. Just kind of push into your left hand to open that left hip. So big assistance for that left side. Keep both hands on the floor. You're gonna pivot on the right heel as you tuck your left leg in and out towards the right. Right, a little tuck under. Shift back into that opening and then place your left foot back on the mat. Okie dokie, this is gonna take us to the floor again on this one. So you're gonna go back to that right hip open, right leg lift. Okay, so left heel, you're gonna pivot so that you turn, right leg up, and now you're in a version of our high boat. Whoa. This is actually gonna go right back to where you just were. You're gonna bend your right knee, place the foot on the floor, turn over your left shoulder, plant your hands sort of mid-mat, push into the right foot, you tuck that left leg in, up and open, and now step left foot wide. You're back in your wide straddle, forward bound, bend the elbows, sink the heart down. So now we're probably set for a good headstand little practice, so you can fold, lean into your toes, and lean forward into your elbows. If you need to walk your elbows out or a little bit out farther in front of you so that you can get them to the floor, do. And if this doesn't work for you, you can modify. Take the hands and the head to the floor. So those options are there for you for whatever kind of inversion you want to attempt, or just kind of watch, or just kind of sneak up on it a little closer with your skills as they're growing. Okay, so tiptoes, I'm pressing my elbows to the floor, I'm going up with a wide straddle. All right, stop halfway maybe. Just take your time enjoying that you're doing a headstand in your house or wherever you are. Okay, put some confidence in that tailbone. Okay, go wide straddle again. Stick your butt out behind you. Be a little playful with that weight shift. Pressing into the elbows to keep your neck long as your hands land. Yay, come up to a flat back. This one we're gonna go over into, let's see, we're going to to switch it. We're gonna open that left hip, three-legged dog. Right, tuck it underneath you, to the right, sit, and here you are in high boat again. All right, a little creative play. Let's go to low boat. Okay, so some of my YouTube searches have been really about sort of just enjoying that static but very breathful opportunity to work in this little hollowed out area. So some of it has been a little bit of rocking in this shape. So really pull the belly in. You can go kind of quick or you can go kind of slow. You can go somewhere in between, right? Just kind of enjoying that braced quality of your whole midsection without having to count, without needing a timer. Just play, okay? Your next inhale, you're gonna come up into a little cannonball with crossed ankles, right? Hold your shins for a sec. Okay, so you're gonna tuck your toes in like we've done before. Come forward, I'm gonna plant my hands so I have them nice and tucked in so you can feel yourself weight shift into the tops of the feet, forward onto your hands, press up, and hop back to plank pose. All right, we are slowly creeping up on our apex pose shape, right? Where we go to. Let's do a vinyasa in our sort of our playful style, right? One zone playful style. Exhale all the way to the floor. Okay, lift the legs first. Let's think of this as like a really great way of targeting the glutes, the hamstrings, and the back muscles without having to lift anything more than your body weight. You can also lift the hands, right? So 3 times. This is number 1. Reach your arms forward and then pull the elbows back. Deep W's, right? Inhale forward. Keep the neck long. Exhale, dig them back, maybe come up a little higher. Right, inhale one more time. Reach out and then exhale, tuck them back. Hands to the floor, legs are still kind of reaching up. Keep the glutes fired up, heart lifts. Up dog, thighs off the floor. Let's go down dog. Yay. Okay, so where are we going with this? I'll do left leg first. Left leg picks up, open up. Okay, this is kind of cute. We're gonna pull that left knee forward to your right elbow, turn your right heel over to the left. We're gonna do a cricket slide. Left leg is sliding over the top of that right foot, right arm is up, and then you're gonna come back, hand to the floor, left knee to your left upper arm, Chaturanga Kundanyasana, so half a crow in a Chaturanga. Oh, I love this song, 3-legged dog. Step the foot forward. Take triangle pose, so back heel goes left, left leg straightens, right arm is up. Ready? Okay, left knee bends, left arm goes forward. Pick this up, whoo. Warrior 2. Take this back, reverse warrior. All right, keep this shape in the legs, right? We're just gonna work with the sort of the flexibility of the upper body. I like to start left hand to the inside center of the heart. Bring your left elbow to the inside of your left knee. Right now, put some breath from the back of your leg, back of that left knee, let's say, and push it back into your back right heel, your back leg. Right, so that you can sweep a couple times with that right arm. Just gonna circle the sky. I'm alive. Right, one more forward. And as it goes back, drop it behind you. So you're maybe in a position here, you can keep your hand at half namaste. You may have your right arm, top arm in half bind, but you might be able to sweep those fingers, hand under that left arm. Okay? This is kind of a way I used to teach this pose. Straighten the left leg, and now you're in bound triangle pose, and you're gonna turn over your right shoulder and come to a wide straddle with a bind. Right, so it's a forward bow, bound, and pretty wide, okay? Very gently here, you're gonna lean over to your left foot, left knee bends, so your feet are still parallel, and you're gonna step right foot to meet it. So that way you can loosen up. If you lift your left heel, loosen up, adjust, wiggle, find your neck and shoulders harmonious and happy. Push down to your right foot, lift your left knee, and take it up on the inhale, come up, come up, come up. Take your time, right? You might have to start over again if you need to adjust your arms, right? And just take a moment here. Sia sings it, I'm alive, right? Strong standing leg glutes, nice strong shoulder blades on the back, squeezing, oh, bouncing, right? So As you move your eyes around, if you move them around the room too much, you might lose your focus, okay? If you want to straighten that left leg, you can. This is bird of paradise. Okay, very helpful. Bring it back down. You can actually turn your left toes out to the left. Keep it there, and as you lean into your left foot, you're actually gonna let go of the bind and come up. Ooh, not so graceful, Mikey. Half moon pose. All right, not mad at that. Reach your arm forward, and then set yourself a little bit better if you're not on your mat to a standing split, okay? Lifting the right leg, folding into the left. Okay, right here I'm gonna tuck my right knee in towards my face. Plant the hands, both knees are meeting up towards the face, tucked. Maybe left foot comes off the floor for a little Lolasana, and then bring your knees to the mat. Yay, come to stand. Lift the chest, reach the arms. This is a little happy reset, okay? Awesome, and then release your hands to the floor. Phew, okie dokie. You decide, hop or step to Chaturanga, right? So stepping would be hop back to plank, step back to plank. Hopping to Chaturanga would be just as sweet in one sweet move, right? All right, maybe loud. Let's do the second side. Woo! Loving it. Okay, right leg lifts, three-legged dog, open hip. Don't forget we have that little cricket slide, so the right knee comes to left elbow. Okay, and then when that right leg slides back, left arm goes up. It's kind of cute, right? So you could have your butt to the floor, or you could keep it lifted by keeping that left foot pressing the floor. Left hand comes to the front, right knee, right upper arm, Chaturanga the arms. Right, nice smile and the shift of the weight forward. Back to three-legged dog, step the foot forward, triangle pose. Okay, feeling pretty alive right here, right? Thank you, see ya. Right knee bends, right arm forward, and then pick that up for a nice reverse warrior. So warrior two to reverse warrior. As you come up, right thumb, let's see, I'm gonna turn myself around, just you don't have to, you're still at the right knee, right elbow inside the knee, and let them meet, right? Knee and elbow pressing into each other, left arm up. We're gonna do a couple sweeps forward and back. So left arm is reaching out of that left outer ankle. Inhale to sweep it back. Exhale, watch it with your eyes forward. Inhale, sweep it back up, and this is where it goes back behind you. Okay? If you like, keep that half bind or full bind, no big deal. And then we'll first just say, hamstrings, thanks for your work. Let's see you go, right? So bound, half or full bound, triangle pose. Turning, weight shifts into the right heel so you can pivot on it to sweep those toes to be in wide straddle forward bow. You can let your head drop for a second and just play with wiggling the hips, balance those arms out, get comfortable. Okay, so I know that stepping in, right, that left foot to the right foot could be a huge gesture. You might even just kind of heel toe slide it. So it's really up to you, or you can fully lean over into that bound right knee and pick up that left foot to bring it over. So it can be a quick step. Whew, watch out for your bracelets that maybe you should have taken off first, like me. Right elbow, right heel lifts. Right, adjust if you need. Left elbow press down to bring your heart up. Okay? Just take a moment here to savor this, right? So often, maybe because we know there's just a little juicy morsel after this, right? We get a little anxious and we forget to savor and really feel what comes from being in this shape. So there is some purpose, some meaning in this shape. Those things can be mutually exclusive. Okay, so if you'd like to go for that little leg straightening, it's there for you. If not, doesn't matter. Right, bend the knee, the left knee starts to bend. Keep your center of gravity there so you can choose to step that right foot over to the right. Right, I gotta get myself some space. And then you let it just open up a blossom. An expression, a half moon pose. Okay, left arm can reach forward from that left heel to round you out, to square you off. I guess those are kind of counter to each other, rounding off and squaring off. But we are rounding that outer hip to square off to the right hip, left hip to right hip. And you're in a standing split. Okay, left knee is gonna tuck in towards your face, both knees. You could take that little Lolasana here. Woo! And then place the knees to the floor. All right, watch out for your ottoman. Arms up to the sky. We're just gonna take a little moment, a little mobility break to look right and look left. Okay? All right, so you get that little moment where you just kind of creatively go for that reach. Time is good. Awesome. Place your hands to the floor. All right, we're gonna hop this again for another vinyasa. Last vinyasa, hop, step, or jump. Take your time, place yourself in it, feel the ride and your strength. All right, meet back and down dog. Awesome. Okay, let's see here. So what I want to do is get to the floor. So we're going to come to plank pose, lift your right knee, tuck it towards your face, and this is simply to sweep over your left shoulder and land, right? That was not sort of a huge part of the flowing sequence, mostly just a way of getting here. So you get to your butt whatever way, you didn't miss anything if you didn't follow that directive. All right, so we're gonna go to a little behind the sit bones action, and again, a lift of the legs. Okay? Just realizing now that I should turn to face you a little bit more, because this is kind of an opportunity right now. Woo, to separate the feet. Not that I want you to be at this angle, or you need to be. All right, so I'm gonna bend my right knee and bring the foot to the floor and bring my right knee to the right. So now I'm holding the outside of my left foot, and my left butt is actually off the floor. So I can kind of lean over into my right knee and then back up. As I come back up, you can scoop that left butt forward, and you might get a little bit more of your sit bones to the floor. So we'll try it again. The more you practice this little movement, it's an outer rotation of that left leg bone, your femur bone. You might sort of, all of a sudden the light bulb clicks on, you're like, oh, so there's an inner rotation as you lean over to the right knee. So you're really just kind of like spreading your sit bones, and then you're scooping it in, preserving a little bit for yourself. Keep in mind that this pose that we're making right now is the same pose we're gonna do just after this, just without the bind. So you might just kind of love yourself right here in glory and be like, this is an accomplishment. So we're going towards compass pose, which I think is a wonderful pose to practice to put us in a directional way, right? So lick your thumb, hold it up to the clouds, to the winds, and set your sails, right? So this is a sail setting pose. Making it up in the moment, procrastination. So lean slightly to your right knee. I bent my left knee just for the service of what that'll do for me. So I now have my right hand to the bottom of my left heel, so I can pull my knee back and hook my left leg behind my left arm, possibly up near the shoulder, okay? Now I'm gonna take my right hand. I'm holding my left shin with my left hand. You can even do that with me if you want to do a little turn and twist over to your right and come back to reset the sit bones. Now my hand goes over the top of my left foot so I can release my left hand. That's going to become a little bit of a kickstand. Lean out into your right knee, the one that's on the floor, lifting that left hip, feel your butt stick out and that left leg straighten, okay? Then you can turn, look to your right, underneath that right arm, and keep scooping your left sit bone under. Right, so there is compass pose. If I turn it a little bit, you might be able to see a little more. You can be on fingertips with left hand or palm flat. And just take your time. Again, this one is one of those that you might just like to kind of let the breath put some ease into those hard points of this, or solve the riddle at the last moment. Creativity. Ooh, turn your face first. Second, bend the knee and release that foot. Wow, right? Not too bad. Hold the shins, little cannonball. Let this be a nice little high boat. Right, separate the feet. Left knee bends, left foot to the floor, left shin, left knee. I'm holding my right leg now. So my right hamstring is tighter than my left. Okay, so I just keep that in mind as I maybe take a couple more passes into the production of grounding that sit bone. That wasn't too bad, not bad, but right, your hamstrings just need to know that they all can share the effort, and not any one part of your hamstrings needs to feel more burdened than the rest, and they all can celebrate that they're doing this together. So there are 3 of them, and sometimes we get overpowered by I think it's the medial hamstring, which leads towards your inner knee, and that's why, it's definitely in my case, I get a little bit apprehensive about sort of certain poses, just because that knee is also my little tricky figure. Okay, so back to sit bones. Knee bends. I'm leaning over into my left knee, left hand to the right heel, and tucking the right arm. So same idea. Right, if you have very open hips, you can really get that knee up there. So the higher up onto your shoulder you get that right leg, the more sort of sensational this turn in the chest will be. Just meaning that you'll have more space to do it, okay? Left hand over the top of the foot. I'm holding onto the outside, the pinky toe side of the foot. You could also be holding your big toe, right? So don't let me get in the way of your creativity. Also, notice if your foot is gone limp and your ankle is rolling. See if you can unroll your ankle and make it more neutral, right? Lean into your bent knee that's on the floor, stick your butt out behind you, and then thread your head and heart through that little space, that big space really, between the right leg and the left arm. And then as you tuck your tailbone under, lean out into that right hand, right? Press it down. Breathe up into the left side of the ribs. Lean your right arm shoulder into your right hamstrings. Look up to the sky and smile. Hello, full moon. Okay. Right, turn your face first. It's a nice one to egress from. All right, you can come right into this one with a nice cross-legged Siddhasana. Okay, so little wiggle. Bow forward, right? This is for hips, so just going into a cross-legged position where you feel comfortable, Siddhasana, S-I-D-D, the perfect pose, and fold forward bow, right? Release your head without jamming your chin into your chest, just dropping your third eye. Big inhale, and big exhale. Another big inhale. Nice long exhale. Third one. And nice long exhale. Okay. Inhale and come up. Let your hands come to your heart for a moment and close your eyes. Right. A soft moment with eyes closed. Alexa off. To all the ways that we will be creating. We're setting ourselves in place. If you have waited all the way up until now, this 29th of December, to put your intentions down on paper, digital form, or speak them out loud, sing them out loud, praise them out loud to whoever's listening. All right, let that time come to this space, right? Come to this day. Right, Sva, Sriti, one's own creation. To all of us, namaste. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. I can see you. I see the future. Looking forward to 2021. Stay cute. Talk soon. Peace.